Perspective on Florida Gateway College Television is sponsored by Nutrien. Nutrien, feeding the future.
Hello everyone and welcome to Perspective. This is a public affairs presentation of Florida Gateway College. My name is Mike McKee and my guests on the program do some really good things for kids at Christmas, for kids that are less fortunate. We have Inga Dwyer from Toys For Tots. We have Billy Bridson from the Gainesville Fire and Rescue Department and Bill Huggins from the American Legion. We're going to talk to them about Toys For Tots, tell you all about it, tell you how you can be involved and how you can donate. We'll do that when we come back.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
Welcome back to Perspective on Florida Gateway College Television. We'd also like to welcome the listeners to WQHL Radio and WCJX Radio. We appreciate you tuning in today to learn about Toys For Tots. Inga Dwyer is would you say you're the executive director of Toys For Tots?
I'm the coordinator for both Columbia and Suwannee County.
For Suwannee. So for those who, Toys For Tots, obviously the name says a lot about what you do. How did it get started?
I began Toys For Tots legally 2 years ago with a foundation. I illegally did it 3 years ago when I was not aware that there was actually a foundation that was involved. We collected toys at the Lake City Mall when my son was enlisting in the United States Marine Corps. The staff sergeant there and I did, and we did a phenomenal job collecting toys. The following year, we found out that there's actually a way that this has to be done, and I was appointed the coordinator for both Columbia and Suwannee counties. And that's how I got on board, and I love it, and I hope to do this until the day I die.
Well, so tell me about the program itself. Obviously, you do it all year long, or is it just at Christmas time?
I do different programs throughout the year. I do a Fishing for Tots program in the spring. There's a Christmas in July. There's different fundraisers that are done because we, of course, need the money. But our biggest fundraisers get kicked off, our program gets kicked off October 1st. October 1st through December 24th is when we actually run. Our program starts October 1st with the opening of our applications online, where people can get online, register, and apply for toys. And then the applications are approved or disapproved, and they're given a date and time as to when to come pick up the toys. Now, I do not meet with any children. I never see a child. I know the program's called Toys For Tots, but I do not ever see a child. I only see parents. I truly believe that Christmas is a time to bring the family together. So I get the parents to come together, and I meet with them, and then they shop free of charge for their children for Christmas, and then it's up to them to make Christmas happen for their children.
Now, do the schools reach out to you, or I mean, I can see a teacher at an elementary school that may see a child that looks like sometimes they wear the same clothes to school 2 days or 3 days in a row, that they can maybe identify that family that may be struggling.
As far as the clothing goes, we only do toys, so the clothing end of it we don't do. However, we can lend aid to people to go into that correct area. We do have connections for people that can handle the clothing aspect of it. But as far as the teachers reaching out to us, we do homeless families all the time. Schools reach out to us. Suwannee County schools reach out to us. We have people from Fort White that reach out to us and from Columbia County that reach out to us. So yes, everybody seems to be doing that, yes.
So tell me, Inga, and I think you, maybe Billy can talk to this as well. How did the Marines get involved in this? Or was this something that the Marine Corps started back in the day?
This all started with a woman, believe it or not. This all started with the wife of a then Major Bill Hendricks. He was with the United States Marine Corps Reserves, and Major Hendricks at that time, his wife, she just made a doll. And she said to her husband, they were living in Los Angeles, said to her husband, there's so many children out here that are in need. What if we were to give children gifts? And the gift that she made was the very first Toys for Tots gift was a Raggedy Ann doll that she made, handmade. And it was what got him interested in it. Now, his other job was he was a public affairs officer with Walt Disney. And that's how he got in with Walt Disney. And it was amazing because Walt Disney then said, hey, why don't we get on with Toys for Tots in 1947 and we'll go ahead and make posters. And our very first poster for Toys for Tots came from Walt Disney. And that is not the poster. That is not the poster.
I was gonna. We've got a poster here that's
We
for this
do,
one,
and
but
that's
not the original.
That is not the original poster.
Right.
I do apologize. And he, from that point on, when he passed, he was then a colonel with the Marine Corps Reserves. The toy drive just grew in popularity and became something that started in Los Angeles, California, and now not only does just here in Los Angeles, but it does throughout the entire United States, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And we now have over 800 coordinators that do this.
Oh, wow. Billy, I notice you've got a Marine Corps shirt on.
Yes, sir.
More Marine?
Yes, sir.
Always a Marine?
Always.
Why are you involved? I know that this is, first of all, it's a great cause, but it touches you in a way that because you were a Marine as well.
Yes, sir. Not only being a Marine, it's funny because I just answered a phone call one day, and it was from Inga about me knowing people like with the fire service. And the fire service, it doesn't matter what department we work for, what county or what city. In North Central Florida, it's very small. We call it the firefighter telegraph because you can find out anything. I know a lot of people in Columbia County that I do training with them, especially working at the fire college in Alusty. You just get to know all these guys, and she was like, hey, can you help me out here? And I was like, being very mission oriented, yeah, why not? So I just started making phone calls and connecting her with guys in the fire department. And then as being a firefighter, we're very competitive. So both Lake City and Columbia County have now gotten into this competition on who's going to get the most toys. So it just really sprung from the phone call, and hopefully it's going to escalate to be even bigger and better. So
there's a very large trophy involved here for the winner too.
You should have brought the trophy.
No, because there's somebody here that could possibly win the trophy. He may not see it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, again, you've got kind of a brotherhood in the fire department.
Yes, sir.
You guys, the guys that fight fires, the guys who train together, the guys who stay in a firehouse together, they stick together as well. So.
Oh, yes, sir. Very family oriented. So happens this year I'm on shift, so we will bring our family and our kids into the fire department and celebrate Christmas on shift. Obviously waiting on the next call. But that's what I like about the fire service. It, just like the Marine Corps, it's a familyhood. We all just like get together, and even in our off time, you're never you're never not a firefighter. So it's kind of like the whole Marine thing. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And we're just there. We want to help. We do, obviously, with all the public service, you know, that we do on the job, we still like to even help out even more because it's kind of in our nature. So.
Bill Huggins represents the American Legion post here in Lake City. Was this the American Legion?
American Legion Post 57.
57 on
South
Main Street. Great facility down there. Why did the riders at the American Legion get involved in this?
Mike, it's a situation where kids are very important to us, number one. It's a Marine Corps sponsored program. We want to do something for veterans and veterans programs, okay? The Legion Riders, to be a Legion Rider, you have to be part of the American Legion family. That is a member of the American Legion, the Auxiliary, or Sons of the Legion. So we are, kind of like Mike, we are a family. And we come together, and this is just an opportunity for us to get out here. Being the director of the Riders, I have contacts in a number of counties, just like Billy, I'm sorry. And hopefully we'll have a great turnout from basically Orlando all the way up to Valdosta and as far west as Madison. So we're hoping to have a tremendous turnout and make this a success for Inga.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. I'll take our first break on the program, and we'll talk a little bit about what you were talking about, which is a Toys for Tot toy run, which is scheduled for Saturday, November 23rd. We'll talk some more about the Toys for Tots program and how you can get involved when we come back. Don't go away. You're watching Perspective on FGC TV.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Welcome back to Perspective on Florida Gateway College Television. My guests on the program are Inga Dwyer from Toys for Tots, Billy Brightson from the Gainesville Fire and Rescue Department, and Bill Huggins, who is a representative of the American Legion Post 57 in Lake City. And they're all here to talk about Toys for Tots. Again, this is a special program. You fundraise all year long, right? Inga, you mentioned
Yes.
that you did a fishing for tots, and when is that?
We did that one on Memorial Day, and that one was done, I don't do that, but that's done for me, and it's called Fishing for Tots. And it was done in Branford, and it was a matter of getting kids out with their parents, out on the river, just doing something. And it didn't matter if they went fishing, it didn't matter if they were just hanging out. It was just getting them out there. And we did a fabulous raffle, and it turned out to be a great fundraiser for us. We also did in July, thank you to the Olive Garden. We did a Christmas in July, which was hosted by the Olive Garden, and many, many thanks to the Legion Riders who showed up for that. Thank you, Bill. And made it a huge success, and it was very, very nice. The Olive Garden was able to give us a great discount and provide us with every bit of the feeding. They hosted the entire thing, the entire event. I had to do absolutely nothing but just be there. So it was lovely, and they were great.
So that was for money, because you, like you said, you do provide cash for parents to go shopping for their children.
No, sir.
No?
No, sir.
So you shop for
all
toys?
the cash is sent to the foundation. The foundation then sends it back and puts it on my shopping card, in which I go out and physically shop for toys. I can either do it online or I can do it physically. I can do it through vendors, I can do it through Amazon if I wish to, or I can go out and physically do it. Last year I went and spent well over $2,000 just at Five Below, because we were doing 219 truly homeless kids out of Suwannee County. And we had to come up with stuff for them. So that was part of the funding that was used for that.
Now, what role do the parents have? Do they provide a list of what Susie or Jimmy need, or have requested of maybe Santa Claus?
Some parents do request. Other parents do not. A lot of the requests come from parents with children with special needs. You'll have autistic children with special needs, and I will get special requests for them. Those needs are filled immediately and set aside. Then you have other needs such as the homeless children, where they're asking for nothing but cologne or perfume so they don't smell when they go to school. Those needs are absolutely fulfilled. They have to be. That's not a wish list, guys. That's just sad. When that has to be your only wish for Christmas, is not to smell when you go to school. So other people don't make fun of you. So we make that happen for these kids. And then we make sure that they have toys on top of that. We do kids from ages 0 to 18. I'm not going to cut off a kid because Sally is 13 and Sam is 14, and Sam's not going to get a toy because he's 14 years old. Kids love toys. And it doesn't matter if a 14 or an 18-year-old gets headphones. They love them. Bluetooth speaker, they love them. It's a great gift, and Five Below has them. So it's an easy gift to get, and it's an excellent gift to give.
Bill or Billy, I guess, the Toys for Tots toy run. What is involved in that? It looks like there'd be motorcycles involved.
It is predominantly motorcycles. We'll be doing registrations November 23rd. We'll begin at the Florida Gateway Fairgrounds. Registration begins at 9 o'clock. So far, we've got the local antique car club coming in to do a cruise in. Basically to give things for the riders coming in something to do. We have reached out to Legion riders from Orlando to Valdosta to Madison to Jacksonville. And you find that your veteran riders are some of the most giving, most caring people out there. And as Billy can attest to, veterans tend to have each other's backside. I reach out and ask for help. We expect to have a great turnout. Once we leave the fairgrounds, it will be an escorted ride through the country, ending at American Legion Post 57 for the after party. We have a band called the All-American Band, sponsored by Space Coast Harley Davidson. That'll be on the main stage. We'll have a second band outside. Barbecue, and we rock out, and it's all for the cause of Toys for Tots. And we also have an agreement where the Legion Riders have adopted the local chapter of the Liberty Division Sea Cadets, and we help provide scholarships for that program.
So let me get this right. So it's $20 per motorcycle and rider, $15 if you have a passenger on the back of your hog, right?
It doesn't have to be a hog.
Okay, it could be any kind of motorcycle.
Right.
And then you ask for an unwrapped toy.
Correct.
As well. And again, Billy, I know you have kids. I mean, what do kids want? What would be something if some of our viewers were out there and said, what could I get? Do you get dolls for girls, or do you get, because everything is about an app or a phone, right, or you know how that goes. What do you get toy-wise?
What I buy for my daughter, she just turned 13, and she's always stealing my Bluetooth headphones. So they like that. They like the little technology, Bluetooth stuff. I wish I could say she was still into dolls, but she's a softball player, so she's into softball. But the kids we'll do stuff at the fire department for other kids, for family kids, and it seems like the Bluetooth stuff and the speakers and anything to drive a parent crazy, that would be probably helpful. And the little kids like the little talkable dolls, but just like you can go to the dollar store and pick this stuff up, or Five Below, or so it's not really coming out of a big expense.
Bill, I know that you and I probably haven't shopped for kids' toys for quite a while, but I mean, what are you looking at when your guys say, you got a big burly guy that says, what should I buy? What are you telling them?
Mike, I'll be honest with you. I mean, and speaking with Inga, as we started putting this thing together, being at my age, I anticipated she needed bicycles, she needed the iPads, iPods, things of this nature. And it kind of blew my mind when she told me the things she most needs, and maybe there's a different term for them. I call them life-size baby dolls. The baby doll that 4 to 8 year old girl can play with, not the Barbies. And again, the Bluetooth speakers, the headphones, things that really are not expensive, and that kind of blew my mind as to what to expect that they would want.
And of course, cash is always a big deal. Inga, I know that gives you more flexibility when you can go out. You probably can leverage Five Below to say, hey, I'm about to drop $3,000 in your store.
Correct.
Can you give us a little bit of a discount?
They are wonderful. They will also shut the store down and let me shop all by myself. They will close the doors to anybody else and let me basically take over their store. They will also bring in extra employees and help deliver all the toys to my location. They are fantastic. And they will give me a break on cost if I have a certain amount, yes.
Bill, now, have you gotten good response? I know you mentioned that you've talked to chapters of the American Legion all the way to Orlando. What has been your response for this weekend toy run?
Mike, it's been very positive so far. At being the director of the Riders and also a first vice for the American Legion, Saturday I had the occasion to go to the District 3 meeting. District 3 is Columbia, Suwannee, Dixie counties. We also had officers from as far south as Port Charlotte, statewide officers. Got the information out to them. District 3 commander went to Jacksonville to the District 5 Riders Directors meeting Sunday. And put the word out, and so far the feedback's very positive. We've got good relationships with most of the chapters, and we anticipate a great turnout.
So I don't have a motorcycle. I still want to participate. Can I pay $20 to show up at the Legion and enjoy the barbecue and the band?
Absolutely. Once we get ready to go, we call it kickstands up at noon. Any of the classic cars that want to go with us are welcome to follow behind. If anybody wants to follow in what we call cages, okay, four-wheel vehicles, they're welcome to follow, or meet us over at the Legion.
Okay, but and you also mentioned that the American Legion Post is a place to drop toys off. So if you had something else planned, can you drop a check off at the Legion?
Absolutely. You can drop checks off. Checks should be made out to the American Legion Riders. As I said, we got a dual agreement here where we're also helping fund the local chapter of the Sea Cadets with scholarships, as well as helping Inga buy toys. We've talked to her about forwarding a cash donation to her for additional toys for Tots. Basically helping both sides out.
And Billy, you've challenged the Lake City Fire Department and the Columbia County Fire Department.
Yes, sir.
And so, are you going to announce the winner? When is the cutoff for that?
I can tell you this. The cutoff for this is going to be during a softball tournament that is occurring on November 16th at the softball fields in Lake City. All the toys will be delivered on that day. The announcement will be given and the trophy will be handed out on the 23rd after the run.
Okay.
At the American Legion.
So this is all culminating right before Thanksgiving.
It is all going to come together.
But you're also going to collect donations up until, you said, the 24th.
I will collect
December.
Donations up until the 24th of December.
Because there's always next year.
Not only that, it never ends. I will have people that are going to be coming and knocking on my door on the 24th of December, asking me, is there any way I can apply? Is there any way I can get toys for my kids? I have nothing. And these are people who truly have nothing. There are people who don't even have a phone. So they didn't know they had to apply online. They didn't know they had to apply with their phone. Is there any way you can help me out? I just heard about this. And we're here for that. And that's why I do it. I do it for these kids.
Yeah, you gotta, when you hear stories about getting cologne for someone because they maybe have not gotten a bath in a few days because they live in a car.
Heartbreaking.
It is kind of heartbreaking, and you know the sad part about this is we probably should be doing more about this during the regular year, and it seems like we do it all around the holiday times. But anyway, we're going to wrap things up when we come back, tell you how you can get involved, and give you some important information on where to go and what to do and how to do it. We'll be right back.
There are amazing things to discover in the forest.
Toothless, time to go! What you picking up on, bud?
It's a whole hidden world of wonders. And the perfect place to spend time with family. What better place to let your imagination soar? Experience nature and create a memory you can share. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
Welcome back to the final segment of Perspective here on Florida Gateway College Television. I wanted to make sure that we saw this poster. This is not the original, but here's the epitome of what the Toys for Tots program is all about. We're going to hang some of these up here at the college.
Yes, you may have those.
And see if we can't get some of our students involved in doing this. So if somebody needs more information on Toys for Tots, Inga, how do they get in touch with you? I see we've got a.
Those are the best ones right there.
And with all the information about how to get registered, if you wanted to get.
Absolutely. The very first website one, the lake.city.fl.toysfortots.org. If you go to that website, there are two buttons on that website. One says apply for toys. The other one says donate. Donate's always good. We always like you hitting the donate button. But to apply for toys, go ahead and hit the apply for toys and follow the prompts. And it's a very simple application. Fill it out. It goes through the proper channels. It's either approved or disapproved. And you will get the approval letter or the disapproval letter along with an appointment as to when to pick up toys.
And no donation is too small. If you want to make a $10 donation, anything.
A $5 donation.
Anything helps for this organization. Billy, thanks for what you do and your charity. I mean, I don't want to say charity, but the community work that you guys do and are involved in through the fire department and through the American Legion. Again, the run is Saturday, November 23rd. Registration starts at 9 o'clock at the fairgrounds. Everybody knows on 247. They will have an antique car show out there, and they'll be riding to the American Legion, which is through town. You're probably going to have a police escort.
We'll have the fire department there as well with ladder trucks and a flag.
And if anybody gets out of hand, they can always hose them down.
Correct.
Again, thank you all for being on the program.
Every fire station will have a drop-off box.
Okay,
in Columbia County and Lake City. So.
Okay, so the local fire departments as well will be drop-off points. Thank you so much. Wish you continued success with this program. Thanks for being on the program, and thank you for watching Perspective here on Florida Gateway College Television. Until next time, I'm Mike McKee. So long.